I was like, yeah, I mean, I was absolutely sure that this was like something that he did for like everybody. We were talking about how much you love Nathan Bronson, your boyfriend, who is also a male performer. So I'm curious, and I know my audience is always super curious to hear how the dynamics work between two people who literally have sex with other people for a living. Like, how does that work for you guys? Do you have issues with jealousy? Do you set boundaries? Tell me.
Like any other job, sometimes not the easiest thing to deal with. But overall, like we both came into this relationship knowing like, hey, this is our job. Like it's been my job for the last 10 years and he's coming up on his 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
There are occasional issues with jealousy. There are certain people that I have issues with that have given what I feel sufficient evidence to have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have certain boundaries and I'm like, I'd prefer you like not shoot content with this person or this person or this person.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a professional scene, whatever, unless it's really crossing a line.
Right.
But
okay. That makes sense. And that's because content is obviously more intimate, more one-on-one. There's not a crew around. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can happen. And not that it can't happen on set, but it's a lot less likely to.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like anything else, like any other relationship, I have certain boundaries. But overall, I know he's just going to do the same job that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really fault him for that.
Yeah.
He's not going to fault me for it.
Yeah. So do you guys ever like hook up with other people not at work? Or are you guys like solely monogamous when you're not on set?
If we hook up with somebody, we hook up with them together.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've done it a few times. We're on like a swinger app, like a threesome app.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally we'll pick somebody off there and go and have some fun or call a friend over, but it's usually always together.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really hit that point where I'm like, yeah, go be free. I'm still a little like, no, you're mine. I share you enough right now.
Yeah. And I mean, that's okay, right? It's always so interesting for me to talk to people in the industry who have these different kinds of relationships because everybody has a different way of navigating that like sort of open relationship. And it can also change too, depending on like what they're going through or their current state of mind. What do you find is like the most valuable thing in your relationship with Nathan? Like what really makes it work?
Communication.
Yeah.
1000% communication. Because if you can talk about what's going on, talk about what you're feeling before you hit a blow up or a fight, that's the way to deal with it. I can just be like, hey, I'm feeling a little weird about this. Can we talk about it? And by the end of that conversation, I'm going to feel better about it. And I'm going to have a resolution, whether that's he's not going to do it or he's going to do it, but I understand the perspective now or whatever that may be and vice versa. That's
definitely the one common thread I have heard in all of these.
Communication. I can't preach it enough.
And it's kind of crazy how it seems that people who have like these swinger relationships or these more open relationships have better communication skills than people who are in monogamous relationships. Because I think that most people enter into a monogamous relationship, they expect that it's going to be a certain way. And because it doesn't deviate from the stereotypical status quo of I'm only with one person for the rest of my life, if there's ever any feelings one way or another, issues, like they just don't talk about it.
They're like, oh, this is normal. This happens to every couple.
Yeah.
This is what it is. But when you're in something that's more open, if you don't have those conversations and if you don't talk about those weird feelings, all it's going to do is fester. And I'm a severe overthinker. So it will sit right here and just get bigger and bigger and bigger until I can't handle it anymore. And I'm going to freak out about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to talk about it.
Yeah. Do you find that he initiates the conversations more or you do, or is it very balanced?
I feel like he still tends to initiate it a little bit more often. He'll tend to ask me what's wrong before I'll say something about something. But that's also something that's from my past. And I'm learning to get past that. So I have gotten better and I feel like it's a little more balanced now.
So in 2020, you also said that you are not a fan of social media. In fact, you said you hate social media. Do you still feel that way? Or okay.
I still hate social media.
What do you hate about social media?
I hate that I have to create content constantly for it.
Yeah.
In the sense of devouring it, I hate that I will doom scroll on TikTok for hours and I can't seem to break myself off of it. I've gotten to the point that I literally set a timer for myself.
Oh, wow.
And give myself screen time.
Oh,
and I'm like, you're going to put the phone down when this timer goes off and you're going to do whatever you need to get done.
Yeah.
And once you get a certain amount of things done, if you want to come back, you can. I'm like my own parent at this point.
I mean, sometimes you need to do that.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And, at least I have the tools necessary to do it. So
yeah, it is hard. I find I keep trying to encourage myself to shoot more like social media, more like selfies, more like here I am at Starbucks, but it just feels so unnatural to me. And it just feels so weird.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's me.
No.
Like I wouldn't do this if I did not have to.
No. Yeah. Like I just feel like nobody cares that I'm at Starbucks right now. But like
people do,
but it just feels like so dumb.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't care if somebody was at Starbucks right now. So why would somebody care if I was?
Yeah, I just like and there's just this whole, all of these people who do so well on social media and do really well in that area and they like constantly film themselves. I'm like, I can't do it. But on the other side of it, like it's funny, I am much more comfortable creating like marketing materials and doing marketing for other people.
Yeah, totally.
Like that feels great for me. And I have no problem. Like I'm starting to run some social media accounts for some people. And I have, and I'll be like, I need more content. Take pictures of your dinner.
Yeah.
Or take pictures of yourself. Like, like all the things
you need to do.
That I wouldn't do.
Yeah. And God, that's the worst part. I constantly have to remind myself. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm one of those girls. And here we are at Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah. It's our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate it.
I know.
But I have to do it.
I know. If only we were just more self-absorbed, Kenna.
I know. I always said if I was a little more vain, man, it would actually work to my advantage in this job.
I know. I feel the same way. It's like I am vain, but it's like I'm just not vain enough.
I'm just not over that line of I want to take pictures of myself and stare at myself all day.
Yeah.
I wish I liked looking at myself a little bit more.
Yeah, I know, right? So you started stripping when you were still in high school.
Yep.
You kind of alluded to that earlier when you talked about the accident that you had. How did you work that out with going to school? Were you stripping after school or just on the weekends? Like, how did you?
So both. The club I started at, it had a mandatory 3-night a week. And I remember talking to the manager because I went and auditioned on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And
I didn't even bring anything to audition in. I didn't think about it. And I also didn't wear underwear or bra at the time. Like, some things never change. And I get there and he's like, okay, do you have anything to dance in, like audition in? And I'm like, I don't. I didn't consider it. So he takes me back there to borrow something from one of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Do the audition. He's like, so can you start tonight? I'm like, unfortunately, no, I have school in the morning. And about the, 3-night a week thing, is there any way I can just do like Fridays and Saturdays? Because I have school.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, unfortunately, if I let you off with something, then every girl's going to come in with an excuse. And I'm like, no, that's fair. I totally get that. So I would usually dance Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Sometimes I would do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just because Sunday nights we got off we closed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get a little more rest. But yeah, a lot of times after those 3, you could do half shifts and pay like half of house. So you always have to pay a house fee every night you work. So you'd pay half of that if you worked half your shift. So I'd go in after school. I also worked at a vet clinic for a bit at the same time. So I had 2 jobs and I went to school. So after school, I'd go to the vet clinic for like 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours. And then I'd get done there. I'd go home and shower. And then I'd go to the club. And I'd usually be there for another 4 hours if it was a half shift.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just kind of did that until I graduated.
Did anyone at school know?
So 2 people found out. One, because I told them after my accident, because I was still in school when I did that. So I came in and I had a sling and an A-strap. The A-strap was hurting, so I took it off. But I had a bruise that it started here. crept like up my neck, down the
Oh my
front of my
God.
chest, down my arm, down my back. And so you could see it. I had a teacher that thought like I was being beat. So we had a
Yeah.
social worker in the school. And I'd only been at the school a couple months maybe because I'd moved 6 months before I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
And so she calls me in one day and she's like, you know, this is a safe place to talk. And we're just concerned that, you know, maybe a parent is abusing you. I'm like, I live by myself. So I had my own apartment.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, well, maybe you have a boyfriend or something. I'm like, no boyfriend. I'm single. And I'm like, this is, you know, I can tell you anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And she thinks she's going to have this breakthrough moment with me. God bless her. I wish I'd go back and tell her I'm sorry for this moment. And I can look at her and I go, I fell off a pole down at the pony. I'm sorry. Like, it landed on my shoulder. Can I go back to class now?
What was her reaction?
She just looks at me and she goes, uh-huh.
I mean, you were 18, so
I was 18.
Yeah,
I enrolled myself in the high school. Like, there's nobody you can call.
Yeah.
So she knew, and then I had a teacher that walked in one night. But thank God, it was the coolest teacher I had.
Oh my God.
Because I'd moved states, I had to take the state test, and they had to make sure I knew English. And even though I was in AP English, I was taking college courses in my school before I left last time. I had to go to a remedial English class.
Okay.
Just so they knew I knew my basics, even though I went from AP English to remedial.
Strange.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. They did the same thing with math. And so I'm sitting in this class first day and I'm like doing the paperwork, get it done in maybe like 5 minutes. It's the easiest English. It is basic English.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand it to him and he looks at it and he goes, why are you here? I'm like, I don't know. They told me I had to be here. So from then on, I just did work in 5 minutes and then just slept in his class.
Mm-hmm.
Told everybody at that school I worked at Denny's because they kind of helped take care of me. Like when I got my apartment and everything, I was in a rough living situation with a guy that I thought I could trust, ended up handcuffed to a bed one night. Thankfully, nothing happened, but I realized it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So they helped me with all that. But yeah, he walked in there and I'm like, you know what? Out of all the teachers, I'm glad it's you. If you didn't see me,
dance?
I did not think I didn't have to go through that. But I was like, you didn't see me. I didn't see you, man.
Oh my God. I feel like it's more awkward for him.
I feel like it was definitely more awkward on his side.
Did he stay?
He maybe stayed for a few minutes.
I would have left. I would have like hightailed it out.
Yeah, he didn't stay to watch me dance, but like I saw him talking to a girl that maybe he knew kind of well. They seemed friendly. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Oh my God.
Just going to go over here.
God, so awkward. So you were living on your own. So I'm going to assume that your relationship with your family was a little rocky.
Oh, it was rocky is nice. Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house on Mother's Day when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
My parents were severe drug addicts and abusive and absent people. So I have a younger brother that I ended up raising. He's 5 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid's still my world and my best friend. So
when you were living alone, did you move him in with you?
No, he's still living with my parents at the time because he was still way too young.
Right.
And I would have had to fight to get custody and stuff like that. It would have been a whole thing.
Right. So he had to stay with them until he was 18.
He stayed with them until he was 17. Then he also moved out.
Okay.
And lived with my grandparents, which is where I went after I moved out until I was 18 and could live on my own.
Right. What's your relationship with your parents like now?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot better. Mother annoys the piss out of me.
I mean,
Dad,
whose mother doesn't annoy the shit out of me? My mom annoys the shit out of me too.
Weird. God. But my relationship with my dad is a lot better, so that's cool.
So let's go back to your adult career. How did you go from stripping to shooting porn?
I did the proverbial ladder. I went from stripping to webcamming, and then from there, I had an agent find me my first one. Asked me if I wanted to get in the industry.
Is it the agent that I know?
Yeah, that's the one you know. So he hit me up and I remember laughing because I was like, this is how girls get trafficked. Ended up doing my research and was like, oh, this actually is legit.
He had great girls.
He really did.
He had
found
a
them
really
on webcams,
good
man.
roster.
Swear to God, he found them all on webcams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ended up telling him, all right, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in. Ended up chickening out a couple weeks before I was supposed to come, right before I bought my plane ticket. And I was like, I don't know, it's awful permanent. this is a big decision.
Yeah.
Like it'll never go away once I do it.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. And I was sitting on my cams one night and he came in and popped in with a message because he sent my pictures out to companies already. And he goes, hey, I just wanted to let you know Penthouse wants to make you a pet. Didn't really understand what that meant at the time. So I kind of finished with my show and everything, got off, and I went to my ex. Told him what he said. He explained to me what it was. And I was like, I mean, if that's a real opportunity, that's cool as hell. And I want that. So I was like, all right, well, I'll come out. I'll do my first trip. I'll stay out for a week. Then I'll do nothing but solos. That was when that was still an option.
Yeah. I know. Back then, remember? Remember you could just do magazine work?
God, it was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, came out and that was my very first shoot. And that's what got me in the industry.
Who shot that?
Tammy Sands.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So your first shoot was for Penthouse.
Yep. First shoot was for Penthouse Pet of the Month.
Wow. That's great. That's like pretty uncommon.
Yeah.
For that 2-year first.
As I kind of learned later on down the business that I talked to other people and they're like, that was your first? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was rare. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was the shoot? Like, how did you feel?
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Did you have modeling experience?
None.
I mean, I knew. Okay.
None.
Yeah.
0. I kind of just winged the whole thing. And when I saw the pictures, I was like, holy shit. That's me.
Yeah.
I can actually do this.
Yeah.
And here we are almost 11 years later.
Yeah. So where did you go from there? Like what was, like, how did the trajectory of your career progress?
So funny enough, I didn't get to finish my first week of work because we had a moratorium after the 4th day I was shooting.
Oh. So were you prepared to do, but you were just doing solos, right?
I was just doing solos, but still no companies was shooting just in case.
Right.
So the next time I came out, I was like, well, I'll just do girl. Because at the time, that's what both me and my ex were comfortable with. And I did that for 2.5 years. Loved it. And I feel like I hit everything I could hit in that genre.
Yeah.
And I was like, at this point, I know the industry. I feel a lot more comfortable. I understand it. And sex is just sex now. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything. So I decided, I was like, okay, let's dip into the boy-girl. And let's see what happens there. And I got a dream shoot for my first one. I got exactly who I wanted for a company that was, I got to shoot with James Dean for X Art. And it was everything I wanted it to be.
That company was great.
Yeah.
But
it was a hot shit show.
Yeah. It became a dumpster fire real quick, which is a shame because like that kind of started the whole genre of that, really natural, beautiful girl, like cinematic. I remember they were one of the first companies to start shooting with the DSLR cameras. And like their content was just amazing. And they would like take girls out to, like the Bahamas. I mean, they were like kind of Vixen before it was Vixen.
100%.
Like they started that whole look.
They absolutely did. And it was really cool to be a part of it. I was contracted with them for a bit. But unfortunately, that was during the not so great part. But all that being said, absolutely adored that being my first boy girl. And I thought it was a really unique experience to have.
So looking back, are you glad that you waited as long as you did to film a boy girl scene?
Yeah. I feel like I liked the way I took my career. It gave me a chance to really explore every avenue and stretch my legs in the industry before like kind of jumping into the entire thing full of force.
Yeah.
So I liked, for me, the easier transition.
Knowing what you know now, like, being 11 years in the industry, what would you tell like young Kenna when she first started to do differently? Is there anything that you would have changed?
Be better with your money. Invest better.
Yeah.
Leave the ex sooner.
Ditch the suitcase, boyfriend, and save your money.
Yeah. That man spent so much of my money.
Would that be your same advice to new girls starting in the industry? Or are there any other pointers that you have for them?
For new girls, I generally go with, don't do what you're not comfortable doing. don't let anybody push you to do anything you don't want to do.
Mhm.
It's totally okay to say no and go at your own pace.
Are there any scenes that you've done that you regret?
No, not really. None come to mind.
What about best scenes you've ever done?
Oh, best scenes I've ever done?
Yeah.
I have an entire anthology series on Balesa House with Nathan that
Oh.
are my favorite series, just because we get to do the interviews beforehand.
Mhm.
And you actually get to kind of watch our relationship through them. So the very first one we did, the reason I got to choose him was because we hadn't had a one-on-one scene.
Mhm.
I was like, I really like this guy. I want to
Mhm.
work with him.
Yeah.
And I spent the first 10 minutes of the interview just gushing like a girl with a crush. And after that, I was like, oh, there's something different about this boy.
Mhm.
And then we started shooting content and kind of just went, it's just a crush. It'll go away. Second one we did was like a blind date, but we figured out it was each other beforehand. So I knew going in.
Yeah.
And just watching the way we interact and then watching the chemistry that we've always had and still have. It's never lost any of its magic. And then we did another one after we started dating.
It's really cute to like be able to watch the progression of your relationship play itself out in porn scenes. It's like really unique.
So cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know there's not a lot of people that get to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like keeping those forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is. Has porn helped you explore your sexuality more?
Oh, it definitely has. I've gotten to do any and everything I've wanted through this job. And some of it was for me, some of it wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I learned I don't really care too one way or the other about feet. Seems to be a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I got in here and I found I love feet.
Yeah. Not your thing?
Yeah. Whatever. Like if it's somebody's thing, they can make it my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. But I got to explore everything sexually with girls that I wanted to, from strapping to fisting to getting fisted. Everything with guys. I've gotten to just have multiple partners and doing orgies and doing all of these things. And it's like, oh, this is really cool. Kind of figure out what I want to set the rest of my life up with. I don't have to choose now. That's really cool.
A lot of people have said that porn is a great place to explore your sexuality because you're in a safe space. Like obviously depending on who you work with.
Yeah.
But let's say you make good choices, right? Like you get to like try things like on a set with people where, you've got like you're kind of protected because you're on a professional set. You're not like in a one-on-one situation with like some guy you met on Tinder, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, I would say before COVID, especially, I got to explore a lot more. I feel like after COVID, the industry has changed so much.
Yes,
and there's
it
a lot
has.
of people here that don't really like to have sex anymore. Or at least don't show they like to have sex anymore.
Yeah.
And so you don't really get that same fulfilling feeling, which is a little sad.
Yeah, I can think of a few people.
Yeah.
Kind of all about like marketing.
Yeah.
Like they're really good at like putting themselves out there and like, creating an image and
they're good at building a brand, but they're not good at
But like get them on I've had some of those and I get them on set and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think it's hard though for girls because in porn, like if they want to have a career and they don't, because I'm sure having been a girl performer first and then going to boy girl, like once you cross that line to boy girl, there's something like different about girls who do boy girl. You know what I mean? Like there's like, it's like you've
separated yourself.
Yeah. Like some girls can still sort of claim some kind of, not that I'm not a porn star, but they'll say something like, oh, but I only do girls. Like that makes you
it's or what I used to hear all the time is I would be like, oh, I'm a girl performer. They're like, oh, so you don't do hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's still that separation.
Yeah.
But once you take a dick, man.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that? Do you think it's like a dating thing? Because it's like you're more likely to find men who are okay with you doing girl rather than boy girl? Or do you think it's like the way that like the world looks at you?
I almost think it's the way we're perceived because I think people look at girl and they see two soft feminine girls and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. We'll accept that. That's the acceptable gay that we're happy to partake in. And you just see soft skin, pretty girls, soft touches. And I'm not To be fair, not all girl is that way. I've shot my fair share of soft girl. But I think it's generally perceived as more soft and like not taken as seriously. But it is a lot more like once you see girls taking dick, you see a lot more of that hardcore. Like you'll see a lot more smacking, choking, hair pulling, and like a lot more roughness. So I think that's why in a lot of ways there's that difference still.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely like a thing that I remember, like even back before you started, when you could just shoot for magazines.
Yeah.
You could shoot solo girl and like shoot spreads and then shoot like girl, pictures only, not video, and then like try and be like, but I'm not a porn star.
Yeah.
I just do like pictures.
I just do magazine.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think that's before like the word hierarchy became part of our vernacular, wherein there was definitely this hierarchy of like sex workers on different levels and like I'm better than you are because I don't do this and you do that. And
it's still so very there.
Yeah.
With like, because you've got your OnlyFans girls, then you've got your cam girls, and the cam girls are like, oh, well, we don't do porn. It's like, you 100% do.
Yeah.
Just because you're solo doesn't mean you don't do it.
Yeah.
And like that's a different view from girls who do escorting.
Yeah.
And it's different from girls who do mainstream porn. And it's like everything feels like there's still that hierarchy.
Yeah.
Where someone's looking down on you.
Yeah.
For this or that. Even in the feature dancing world, like you get showgirls who will look down on the porn girls. Some of that is to be fair. Because porn girls don't bother to learn how to dance most of the time, and they think twerking for 20 minutes on stage is dancing, and it's not.
You gotta fall off a pole and dislocate your shoulder to be a dancer.
At least have some experience. Don't be afraid. Like, don't go up and interact with the people. You don't have to know pole tricks. Like, I lost a lot of my pole tricks after I fell. I got a little scared. I used to be a beast up there. Now I know a handful, and I know how to make it look good.
Yeah.
Most of my time is spent with the people.
Yeah.
Because my pole's not going to make me money.
Yeah.
People do.
Right.
And also, that's their experience.
There's, since like this, since 2020 and, OnlyFans has blown up and, you mentioned like the difference between like the OnlyFans girls and like porn stars, how there's that hierarchy. So I know that there's a lot of porn stars who feel that almost a little bit resentful towards the OnlyFans, like girls who only do OnlyFans, only do porn and OnlyFans because they didn't come up through like porno boot camp, where they had to like learn the ropes. And also they haven't been exposed to the kind of like systems that we sort of have, like with testing and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that there's a big difference there or?
I do. I don't really have problems with girls who just do OnlyFans and they're like, I'm just an OnlyFans girl. I'm like, that's cool. You do you. I have a problem when they come in here trying to act like a porn star. And they're like, well, I've been doing OnlyFans for 2 years. I'm like, that's cool. Do you do studio? How long have you done studio? Well, this is my third one. Don't call yourself a porn star. Don't act like you've been in this industry for 2 years and you know the ins and the outs. You know OnlyFans, and that's completely different. Like, you don't understand set etiquette.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing for me.
Yeah.
You don't understand how to treat people like people.
Yeah.
You treat these, especially like I don't like the way the guys are being treated. And I get to see a lot of that just because my partner is a male, on the male side. And they literally treat them like a dick. And it's like, you got to give them a little something.
Yeah.
Like, you are here to, you're not here to like go fuck him in the next room and get him hard like that. But at least try.
Yeah.
Like, be nice.
Try to have like a connection.
Try to have some kind of connection.
Yeah.
But they'll literally talk down to him. They'll say like, I don't even like sex. And he'll be like, for example, he'll ask him, he's like, what do you like? Well, I'm not going to come. Cool. And it's like, that has become so much more normal than I'm going to be here and I want to do my job and I want to make you feel good.
Yeah. Because a lot of times I know that sometimes girls will do studio porn only to get the traffic.
100%.
To go
and
to
it
their,
shows.
Yeah, to go to their profiles.
Yeah. And it shows. And honestly, you're doing yourself a disservice by doing that. 100%.
Yeah.
My OnlyFans would do so much better if I'd never shot porn. Because that's the only place they can now get my content.
Yeah. Do you wish that like you had done it different? Like if you came into this, because obviously OnlyFans didn't exist when you came in, but if you came in now, do you wish that you had gone that route?
Not really. I think if I wanted to go that route, I would have focused more on like clips for sale and like ManyVids and like all the other stores and trying to do like the live stuff and stick with my camming. I really got into porn because I like doing the studio stuff. I like doing the scripts. I like doing the features, especially. I always loved the acting portion of everything.
Yes.
And now we've lost
You were
so much.
fantastic in that movie, Stranger Than Fiction, directed by Holly Randall.
Holly Randall.
Wicked Pictures.
Right there. But yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect, and that's why I got in. I actually really don't love the content creation part of it so much. But it is unfortunately now just a part of it. And if I don't do it, I fall out of irrelevance.
Yeah.
Or into irrelevance.
Yeah, it's definitely like a balance that is hard to keep.
It's like, I never got in to be my own producer. I did. If I wanted to be a producer, I'd go be a producer.
Yeah. Yeah. You've said that you enjoy helping people understand what really goes into the adult industry. What's one myth that still drives you crazy that you wish people would let go of?
When people call me a dirty whore, fuck you. I get tested every 2 weeks. When's the last time you were tested? Not to all of you who don't think I'm a dirty whore. I love you all. But yeah, that is probably one of the biggest, is we are just the dirtiest people and we're probably riddled with STDs. And it's like, nah, one of the safest people you'll ever fuck.
I think another big misconception is that like you have sex with hundreds of men when it's literally the same 15 guys.
Yeah, I have a pool of maybe 15 to 20 people, like guys that I run through.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that many. And of course they've changed a little over the years, but generally small pool of people.
That's the thing.
The girls are way more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of women in the industry, but like men, like it's hard to come by. And I'm sure that you see this even more so now that you're with Nathan. It's hard to come by good, solid male performers.
It always has been, man. Ever since I started doing boy girl, I've always been very particular about the guys that I'd work with. I don't really love working with new guys. I know all of them need a chance.
Oh no, I'm not giving them a chance.
Also,
I'm not that person. When they come to me, they're like, "Oh, I'm new. Will you shoot my first scene?" I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, I'm like,
go shoot with somebody else.
I'm past the first chancers.
No way.
Like,
yeah, same.
You've got plenty of other fish in the sea to go test.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit easier. But God, male talent's so hard to find. That's really good.
Yeah.
When it really comes down to it, that isn't contracted right now that I could shoot with regularly. There's maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That I really like.
Yeah. What do you think is the most underrated skill a performer needs to be successful in porn?
Does a good attitude count?
Yeah.
Like a good attitude goes a long way, and some enthusiasm if you're going to choose this job.
Yeah.
Also, kissing. That is something I didn't think was going to be a problem in this job. I thought people knew how to kiss.
No, not so much.
Not so much. I get a lot of I'm like, open your mouth. How do girls do that for me? A scene, girls kissing girls.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that. Does that site still up?
Honestly, don't know.
But isn't it like 20 minutes of kissing?
It's like 15, 20 minutes of kissing.
Yeah.
And I just had her with the sound. I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Oh my God. All right. I got some quick and dirty rapid fire questions for you.
Let's do it.
This is a new segment. I think Masha threw this in. So Masha, we're gonna give it a shot.
We're doing it.
Okay. Number one way to turn you on.
Kiss me in foreplay.
And not like this.
Oh yeah, no, make out with me like I'm leaving.
Favorite scene partner of all time.
Nathan Bronson.
I knew you were going to say that. That was so obvious. Music artist that always gets you in the mood.
I don't know. Music really doesn't do it, but I'll throw out Shabuzi because that's me and Nathan's like guy.
Okay. Craziest location you've ever had sex?
Yeah, I guess in a parking lot of a cafe in my truck.
Okay.
It's not that crazy.
Have you ever been to a sex party?
Many. Kinky Rabbits, specifically.
Oh, yes.
I work their sex parties.
Yeah.
And those are always great. Those are always really fun.
That the styling of the pictures that they put out is like, oh my God, so
dude, they're the creator of Alina. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like she comes up with all the costumes. She makes most of them herself and everything. And she's incredible.
Yeah.
I love doing those parties.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. I've been to I went to one. I don't know if sex happened later, but they were like auctioning women off as tables and stuff. I didn't stay that long. And then I accidentally walked into a swingers party, which I didn't realize it was a swingers party. And then once I realized it was a swingers party, I left.
How do you accidentally walk into a swingers party?
It was Vegas. It was AVN.
Oh, okay. Well, that
I went into someone's hotel room. I didn't realize that.
I redact my question.
That's where that was happening. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. Bye.
This is not the room for me.
Because like for me, honestly, if there's not a camera between me and like the sex act happening, I feel weird.
Yeah.
If I don't have a purpose there, if I'm just like sitting around watching, it feels strange to me.
Yeah, it used to feel strange for me.
Yeah. But I also like, I'm not going to partake because I'm just not that kind of person. But yeah, if I don't, like I got a lap dance from a stripper once.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward. I was so uncomfortable. I was like asking her, like, I was like doing small talk. I'm like, you smell nice. What shampoo do you use? So, any good movies lately? She was like, shut up.
I would have been dying laughing.
I was just like, I don't know what to do. I was like, it was at Danny Daniels. It was at her bachelorette party. And I love her. I can't remember who bought me a lap dance. Might have been like Cherie and Adam bought me a lap dance. And I was just like, I'm so uncomfortable. Please don't ever do this again.
Yeah, no, getting a lap dance as a girl and even giving lap dances to girls sometimes can be very awkward.
Yeah.
Unless they're really into it. And then it's like, that's so easy to get
And that's
into.
the problem because I'm not into women. I'm very straight. So I was just like.
So you're just like. And it's just like, I don't have anything to rub against to make you feel really good. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely not my thing. Oh my God. Well, Kenna, so any big plans for the year? Anything that you want to tell your fans that they should be looking for besides the showcase?
Yep, there will be a showcase, which I'm very excited for. And just furthering my mainstream and stunt career, seeing how that goes. That's kind of just my big plans.
Cool.
And enjoy life.
Yes.
That's the biggest one.
Yes. That's the one that we seem to forget about.
It's the one I've forgotten about.
Yeah.
But
we get so focused on like the next goal, the next opportunity, the next like work thing, you know what I mean? I remember Angela White said to me once, and like I always think about this, you know, she's always like doing some big thing, some big project, whatever. And she said to me, and I was like, what is the question that like you hate the most? And she was like, when people ask me like, so what's next? She's like, can't I just do something and then just like not think about what's next? Can I just like relax and just like I achieved this big thing. I put all this work into this project. It's out. Like, why do I got to be thinking about the next thing?
Yeah, I can enjoy the moment.
Yeah, like look at the thing I just did.
Yeah.
Like it's there.
Yeah.
So and I was like, oh, that's so true.
Yeah, so I'm learning to take a back seat and just chill in my own life for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I do have some Patreon questions for you, which we will do in a separate segment, which if you're a member of my Patreon, you will be able to access as well as the uncensored version of this podcast because I have had to start censoring these for YouTube because it doesn't always like every story that we tell, which is a shame. So go to patreon.com/Holly Randall Unfiltered for access to all of that exclusive content. And in the meantime, Kenna, can you just tell everyone where they can find you online?
You can Google me if you like. First page of Google right there. You can find me on Twitter at Kenna James 21. It is my only one. Instagram is at Real Kenna James. It is my only one. TikTok is Kenna James X. It is my only one. Yeah, I think that's it.
Do you get a lot of catfishing?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
on everything. Every day I get a message. I had someone that was pretending to be you, or do you know me? No, I don't know you. I'm sorry. If I ask you for money, it's not me.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying something.
Yeah. Unless you're on OnlyFans and you're like,
it's a transaction.
Yeah. And you're like buying a piece of content.
Yeah. I will never ask for gift cards or money or tell you that my boyfriend's holding me hostage and making me do porn. He's not. I love what I do.
We hear that a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. I just had a message from some guy yesterday saying that he was talking to a girl who he was talking to me, and I was in Ottawa, Canada, trying to like restart my life and get out of porn. And I was like, yeah, no, dude, I've never been to Ottawa in my life.
Yeah, I'm from everywhere else in the world and have such broken English, but they're like, I'm such a fan of you. You were talking to me. I'm like, that's not English that they were using.
Yeah. I know. You were AP English, not remedial.
It was AP English, guys. I know my English.
I mean, if you're going to get catfish, the person at least has to be able to speak proper grammar.
Like grammar is something that's very important to me. Like I'm very much a you're, and there kind of difference person.
Same. Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can also find me on Instagram and on X at Holly Randall. Go to hollylinks.com for access to all of my platforms. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.